In a fight, strength and size isn't everything, and we've covered it enough times on this channel for you guys to know what we're talking about. Now, of course, in a fight, size does matter, but if you are the smaller man and have a massive advantage in the skill department, you can make up for that size discrepancy. Anyway, now we've prefaced the video. Eddie Hall has only just gone and dropped an absolute banger of a video, World's Strongest Man versus MMA Champion, featuring Tom Aspinall. My background is martial arts and fitness, so I love when we get these sort of crossovers, and that's why we cover them on the channel. What I'm really interested to see on this video is how Eddie Hall moves. He's got an athletic background. He used to be a swimmer. He's lifted weights all his life and also done a lot of cross training in all these different sports over the last few years. So let's see how Eddie Hall gets on in this video.
Hey guys, I'm the world's strongest man, and today I'm fighting a pro MMA fighter. Well, give it some. And I'm with the top 4 ranked heavyweight UFC bad boy, Tom Aspinall. How big are, what's your height, your weight, your stats, what's your fights you've had?
I'm 6'5", about 115 kilos at the moment, something like that.
So what's that, 250 pounds?
Yeah, ish, something like that, yeah. And my record in the UFC is 6-1.
That loss wasn't really a loss. He tore his MCL in the Curtis Blades fight.
Well, a bit of background on me. I won the world's strongest man back in 2017. I'm about 6'3", 6'2.5", let's be honest, 6'2.5". I've got a 6'5" guy next to me, so I can't lie today. Body weight, about 370.
Okay, so there's a bit of a weight difference here. Tom Aspinall is 250 pounds. Eddie Hall is 370 pounds, a 120 pound difference. When we do these type of videos, often we're covering someone who's significantly smaller, say like the Dustin Poirier versus Brian Shaw fight. Brian Shaw weighs like 400 pounds and Dustin Poirier weighs like 170, 180 pounds. And what you find with those fights is there's a big, massive strength discrepancy as well. Whereas here, Tom Aspinall has actually got quite a lot of muscle, even if you compare him to Eddie Hall. Of course, Eddie's got a denser frame, he's wider, whereas Tom Aspinall's a little bit longer, but he's got longer muscle bellies. So even though there's a 120 pound weight difference, I highly doubt that will come into play whatsoever here, because Tom is still strong, and also he's an absolute wizard at jiu-jitsu anyway.
Have you ever kicked before?
Yes.
Leg kicks are some of the most effective things that you can do, especially at heavyweight. All you're going to do is throw a couple of jabs. All the jabs are for is they're like, just to take my attention. Just move around a little bit, and then you're going to fake one of them, and then you come, boom, okay. The low kick. Just take their attention, move around a little bit, take their attention, fake it, go there. Okay.
You see how light on his feet Tom Aspinall is? He really is good and could be the next heavyweight champion. And let's remember as well, Eddie Hall's not a complete beginner here when it comes to combat sports. He can box. He put in a good amount of time for his fight against Hafthor Bjornsson. Okay, see these leg kicks. What we're looking for here is Eddie Hall to be tearing his foot out, his lead leg out, so he opens up his hips in order to throw that kick in.
Over the top with the head.
Yeah.
Or you want to throw it over this side. Because if you throw the low kick and your head stays in the middle,
yeah,
you can throw this straight back. So nice. Stay a little bit lighter on your feet.
It's going to be hard for the 370 pounder.
This time, instead of going for the kick, take your eyes, step the right leg forward and go with the head right in the middle of the chest there.
Right.
You've got to be like this. You know, there. Knock them off base a little bit. So, forehead right in the middle. We'll work it in with the jabs a little bit. Yep. That's excellent. That's really good. Yep. Perfect.
Eddie Hall's like a bulldozer.
This time we're going to go. You want to be in like a flow where you're moving around and your opponent doesn't know what you're going to do. Like if you look at the best people in any combat sport, whether it be boxing, kickboxing, MMA, whatever, they're always like smart people. And they're always like a step ahead mentally of their opponent. So that's what you want to do. You never want your opponent to know what's coming.
That's how you know Khabib was so amazing, because everyone knew what was coming and they still couldn't do anything against them. Across the board, the best fighters are going to be the ones who have more tools in the arsenal, more ways to get the job done. But then there are those elite who are very one-dimensional, but just do that one dimension so good that no one can stop them from implementing the game plan. So what do we think of Eddie Hall's leg kicks? pretty decent, especially for someone who's as big as himself, 370 pounds, 6'2". Although I wouldn't have taught him that variation of the low kick where he gets his head off the centre line, because he's a big guy, he hasn't got a centre of gravity just yet. And I know people are going to say, oh yeah, you're telling Tom Aspinall what to do. Think that you know more than Tom Aspinall, do you? No, not at all. A bunch of knobheads said that on the last video. Oh, who's this guy trying to tell Dustin Poirier what he should and shouldn't do? No, I'm just saying that you can clearly see Eddie Hall hasn't quite got a centre of gravity yet. Usually you would just teach the low kick or the roundhouse just in a regular manner, and then once you've got the fundamental of kicking in place, then you would add on getting off the centre line.
How bad are those leg kicks when they're like...
Especially being a big guy.
Horrible.
It's like taking a baseball bat to the leg. Honestly, it is so painful.
Would you be up for... I want to experience it. Kick me in the leg as hard as you can.
Well, I won't, because, you know, you're a nice guy and stuff, and I will hurt you if we do it.
Yeah.
But I do have someone who'll do it. Louis, come on. This guy will give...
If Tom actually kicked Eddie Hall in the leg as hard as he possibly could, Eddie would be fucked.
Your leg kick.
Well, this guy. How old are you?
9.
9 years of age.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to...
If he goes the correct technique, all shin
Yeah?
to thigh just above your knee, that's just going to be painful.
It won't drop him, but it'll still hurt.
Go on.
Go on.
Oh, I couldn't imagine you doing that.
Try it if you want to. No. 40%.
Go. That's only 40%.
Do you want me to go a bit more?
No.
Go on, I'll go like a bit harder.
Damn. See the power on that then? Ooh. You hear the thud as well.
That's through a mat. Like, what's that, like 8 inches thick of padding?
And the kick
Yeah.
like that. And that wrecks. That really...
Now.
The calf kick changed the game.
Bit of grappling, Tom. Bit of floor stuff.
Yeah. Let's do some floor stuff.
With the 4 ounces on.
Right.
Let's go.
So what we'll do is, you can start on top of me. Mm-hmm. When I get you off, we'll restart with you back on top of me. So we'll have a few goals of that.
Yeah.
And then we'll switch it over. All you've got to do, pin me on the floor. That's it.
Okay.
This position, for you, doesn't require much technique.
Yeah.
So it's a good test how much strength comes into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
I said it in one of my previous videos, when I went back to do BJJ and I was like 15 stone. Those that don't know stone, it's about 95 kilos. My technique wasn't the best, but I could get away with a few things just because I had more strength and I understood a little bit of what to do. So strength matters in grappling more so than it does in striking. That's why I talk about always making sure that if you want to get better at fighting, make sure that you lift alongside it. It doesn't harm you to be a good grappler who's also got physicality and is strong. Do you want to make some predictions? I think 7 seconds, Tom will get him off in. Okay.
Squeeze the air out of you. Right, let's go. Yeah.
Okay, go. 6, 7. You're messing. 7 seconds. Okay, let's just watch that back again. I was more focused on getting the prediction right. So he basically just creeps out the side. Oh, I've got a stiff neck here. Yeah, okay, so he gets the underhook on Eddie. So what Eddie should have done really there is fight for the underhook on the right side and try to get his leg over on Tom as Tom was trying to come up. Instead, Eddie's just stayed on the right side of Tom with both his knees there and just tried to stop Tom from getting up just with all upper body strength. It's not going to work. Like, Eddie's got no leverage there. See?
Okay. Slipped.
You don't understand basic body positioning.
Yeah.
And that'll take like a few months to be able to get that feel.
Yeah, so even if you're a smaller opponent, you can actually hold down a bigger opponent if you understand positioning. There's been countless times I've grappled against bigger people who can't get up from the floor just because they don't understand where to position themselves, or vice versa. I can get up from them holding me down just because they're in the wrong position. Okay, he's got a good grip there. Do a little bit better now. Yeah, displaces centre of gravity. There you go. Nice, that was good. As you see there, Tom got his hand through Eddie's crotch and was able to displace his centre of mass, make his base unstable, and then from there he was able to get the sweep. So you can see, he couldn't really do much there. Eddie had a better understanding of positioning here because Eddie actually moves his legs this time and changes and moves around as Tom is trying to fight out a position. So that's good on Eddie's behalf. Tom realises that Eddie's got a stronger grip and can't really do much. So that's when he attacks Eddie Hall's base, displaces his weight and his foundation, and then is able to get the sweeps of watch. So he can't get anything there. And then here he goes for the leg, moves him, gets him into half guards, and then is able to sweep him over from there. Really good. And gets into side control.
Flipped again.
Good, yeah, he got the butterfly sweep.
Bloody hell.
You always want to be like chest on chest, hip on hip. Right. This way. There.
Okay.
Yeah, so Eddie's going for a headlock, like a bear hug on Tom, but the problem with that is that his centre of gravity is very high up Tom's body. That allows Tom to sweep him very easily.
Just try and get me off any way that you can. Yeah, just try and get me off. You try and get back to your feet or to your knees. I'll just try and keep you on your back a little bit.
Usually, the bigger person just goes for the bench press. They try and bench press the weight off them.
Yeah, go on.
What Eddie needs to do here is get his left hand under Tom's neck and try and create space. Yeah, there you go. That's it, yeah.
I'll hold him here till Christmas. Is it Christmas yet?
You're unreal, man. You get an elder in his leg thinking I've got him now, and he just wriggles his back up. But any weaker a man, he'd have crushed me. So you use your hips to create that gap.
Yeah, so I go across there, up, as that comes back down,
right,
and then I can lift it.
This is good stuff by Tom. You can tell that he's a really good jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Say, there's been times, mate, I've been dropped in a fight. I'm on my back. All I can see is the lights up there spinning.
Yeah.
Next minute, the guy's on top of me. And I have to, I'm knackered. I can't see.
Yeah.
I'm bleeding.
You're end of life and someone's still on top of you.
I have to think of like this.
Yeah.
And it's not easy, honestly.
The only way you do that is through thousands and thousands and thousands of reps. You know yourselves, you go to BJJ or an MMA class or even kickboxing and you do the combination, you do the moves, and then when it comes time to actually spar, it all goes out the window. It doesn't mean that you haven't practiced properly, it just means that you haven't done enough reps. It takes a long ass time to really drill those motor patterns into you to the point where it's just second nature. And then being able to pull this off when you're dazed, you're almost knocked out, you're under the pressure of the bright lights and you're live on pay-per-view, it's a whole different level of athlete, and that's why your respect should always go out to these fighters.
Lift that up now. That's it. Perfect.
What would be something to put me in, like a leg lock or something, or like head ramp, like legs around the head, or...
Mate, I don't want to start messing with your shoulders, so be dead tight that moment. I know you do your stretching and that, but still, I don't think you'll be
Yeah, don't do an armbar on Eddie Hall. You'll snap a bicep again.
Get ready to tap here, ready?
Yeah.
I'll do it slow. So, I switch across that way.
Yeah.
And then look, I go my sternum on the back of your head.
Yeah.
And then I sprawl my weight down and pull up.
Oh,
Yeah, you can fix that.
Fuck a frog fought under a brick.
I've never actually seen that technique being demonstrated before, so very interesting.
Yeah, that's well better. Way better.
You made Tom Aspinall tap.
Oh yeah, tap me.
Camera. That's it. Number 3, UFC ranked.
Oh, he's got the GoPro on.
Got his arm tight now, though. He can't do his new move.
He just locked my arm with his head.
Oh, watch this here, Eddie. Watch this. Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
No.
Give him the crucifix.
Over. I think just prove brute strength versus technique. Technique wins all day long.
Strong as well, though. Would you give me a bit of credit? No,
I'm not saying you're not, mate.
Yeah, that's what we said at the start. Tom Aspinall is strong as well as having the technique. Get lifting, boys.
Run through some stats, like what's your bench, squat, and deadlift, just to give the viewers some.
Not
Be interesting.
I've only just started doing weights.
What's the max bench?
My max bench is 167.5 for one.
For one rep. Hey, that's pretty good. He's only just started doing weights and he's got a 167 bench press, 1 rep max. Damn.
Good, man.
I mean, Jamie's my strength and conditioning coach, and honestly, you can ask him.
167.
I'll put the weight on.
I mean, that's pretty much bang on my body weight. What's that in pounds just for US guys? Like 350 pounds you can bench press. Have you noticed a difference in your performance since you've been stronger?
100%.
So you think strength has helped you massively?
Definitely.
What about deadlift?
I wouldn't know.
Squat. You ever do
What is it?
250.
That's good. For about £550. How do you think I'd fare after, say, 6 months?
250 squat as well. Tom Aspinall has actually made a pretty decent physique transformation. Maybe we could do that for the video. He was originally quite skinny fat, and then since having the MCL injury, he took a lot of time out, just got into the strength and conditioning, kind of like Conor McGregor did. And a lot of these fighters, people think that they hop on the gear, but often they don't. It's just they never truly dedicate enough time to weight training, and they're doing these drastic weight cuts multiple times a year for 5, 7, 10 years. The bodies are starving for growth, so the moment that they feed it the right nutrition and start training properly, they pack on size quite fast. Tom Aspinall is a lot thicker than he used to be.
Like, if you're willing to learn and put yourself in bad situations and lose rounds to learn, then your improvement will be massive. Yeah. But a lot of guys, especially big guys, especially now because they only train with heavyweights, a lot of big guys just want to win all the time. Like, they're great at being the hammer, being the nail.
Right.
And you have to be willing to be the nail to improve.
Do you know what? That's great advice there. I'm not a bigger guy. I'm in the middle. I'm like 5'10", but sparring and grappling with some bigger guys, a lot of the time, they do tend to have a little bit more ego, and they're not as good at losing because, usually, they lose less frequently. Whereas if you're a smaller guy, you're always the nail. You're always getting beaten up. You're always getting overpowered in grappling. That's what got me into lifting in the first place, because all the other lads who I was rolling with were fully grown men, and I was like 18, 19 years old, little skinny whippet. So, good advice from Tom there.
So, Brian Shaw, you fat piece You've just seen what I could do, man. Okay.
Brian Shaw versus Eddie Hall in a grappling match. Who would win? Well, at this moment in time, if they were to have no training, I think Brian Shaw would win. I didn't realise at first, but someone said in that Brian Shaw versus Dustin Poirier video that Brian Shaw has got a wrestling background. He wrestled in high school. That's why he kind of looked like he knew what he was doing against Dustin Poirier.
As I say, that stuff on the floor, mate, really did open my eyes. I really did think that strength would get me out of those situations, and it just didn't at all. But there's little tips and tricks, there's little elbows, there's little positions, the little levers. That's what it's about. And if I can join the two, there's a good chance. Yeah. So.
That's what I'm saying, boys. You should always try and combine them both. If you're currently doing any martial arts and you want to improve your size and your physicality and your strength so it can complement your performance, then check out my Natural Physique Academy down below. I'm currently in the process of revamping the entire program. I'm adding new workouts to it, new videos, new exercise demonstrations, and it's well and truly going to be one of the best programs that you can do if you want to pack on a little bit more size and physicality to complement the martial arts without hindering your speed or hindering your technique. Check that out in the description if you're interested. But there you go, that was interesting. Eddie Hall thought his strength and his size would have got him out of certain positions, but it didn't really. But that's because Tom Aspinall has got the technique, but he's also big and strong. The physicality matters at the end of the day. Comment below, what did you guys think of this video? If you've got any video suggestions, DM them to me on Instagram whilst we're in the process of getting the Discord up and running. Like the video, appreciate you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.